He's the man who made Broadway rise up with Hamilton and took us straight to the heart of his neighbourhood with his fabulous musical In the Heights. Lin-Manuel Miranda has turned hip-hop, Latin rhythms and history into unforgettable stage revolutions, earning Tonys, Grammys, Emmys, even a Pulitzer along the way, and now a new biography titled Lin-Manuel Miranda, The Education of an Artist, is pulling back the curtain on his creative genius.
Yeah, genius is the word, and we are delighted to say that author Daniel Pollack-Pelsner joins us live from Portland, Oregon. Thank you for coming on our show, sir. Now, your book takes us back to Lin-Manuel's early years. What was it, sir, about his childhood in New York City that gave him the drive to kind of rise up and become the artist that we know and love today?
Well, he grew up between cultures. His parents had both immigrated from Puerto Rico, and he went to Magnet High School surrounded by a lot of white upper-middle-class kids in New York, and he was always translating the world he grew up in and the world that he came to know, and that gave him this ability to synthesize across lots of different genres. So when it came time to tell America's story in Hamilton, he could draw on pop, he could draw on hip-hop, he could draw on musical theater, and he could put it together in a way that nobody had heard before.
And that's the thing, I think most people know him for Hamilton out there at home, you know, but writing the script, the music, starring in it as well, off and on, he was come back and forth to it a lot. Every superstar faces some sort of hurdles, but was there setbacks on the way to creating this now iconic show?
Oh man, that fascinated me to learn that Hamilton, you know, we think is just a masterpiece that sprang from his head, but it was actually when it opened the 8th different musical that he had written, and he had a lot of ones along the way that weren't ones he really wanted to have see the light of day. He wrote a grunge rock musical in college. He did a time travel, a sci-fi musical. He had to take a lot of wrong turns in order to hit the jackpot at the end. And even the songs he wrote for Hamilton, he didn't always hit them out of the park the first time at bat. He wrote a first draft, say, for Hamilton's wife, Eliza. He played it for his own wife, Vanessa, and she said, I don't think that's your best version. He fumed for a little while, went back to the writing studio and came up with Helpless, which is the song in the show.
So he put in real work before he struck gold there. Hey, in this book, you also draw on over 150 interviews with his family, friends, mentors, all that. What did you discover about him and his mindset that helped turn his passion and growing up in this melting pot into the global stardom he's enjoying today?
Well, everybody who works with Lin-Manuel says that he is a phenomenal collaborator. He knows what he knows how to do, and he knows how to find the people with this skill set to complement his own. And what I loved going back to these early childhood interviews was to see him learning how to be a collaborator in real time. So he always wanted to make art, and he got frustrated that his childhood friends didn't want to give up every single weekend to make the movies that he was trying to put together when he was in high school. And one of his friends had saved a letter that Lin wrote when the friend went to summer camp saying, "How dare you give up on our movie and go away for the summer?" And then he got another letter a week later from Lin-Manuel saying, "I'm so sorry for that letter. Our friendship means a huge amount to me, and I know when we get back, we'll be able to finish the project together." So I love getting to see Lin-Manuel actually learn how to be a collaborator and become the person who lifts up everybody in the room.
Writing more letters than Alexander Hamilton in the musical himself. So you got to interview Lin, obviously. What did he share with you that maybe surprised you?
Well, you know, I thought this was going to be a book about the craft of a songwriter, and we'd be talking about rhymes and beats and influences, and I was surprised how deeply personal so many of these songs are for Lin-Manuel. So there's a heartbreaking song in Hamilton where Hamilton's own son dies in a duel, and his sister-in-law sings a song about the inability to match words to grief. And Lin told me that that song had its roots when Lin was 4 years old and his best friend in preschool tragically drowned in her parents' backyard. And he spent the whole next year, he said the world turned gray for him. And he kept wondering, what would it have been like to be her parents? What must they have been feeling? And it took about 30 years for those feelings to emerge in a song. But one of his superpowers is his ability to tap those empathetic roots and turn it into art.
Wow, it's a fascinating story and a wonderful insight, sir, that you've delivered for us. We cannot wait to read the book, but to learn more about him. And thank you for your hard work and coming on our show this morning. Lin-Manuel Miranda, The Education of an Artist, will be available to purchase from September the 9th. He's just genius. There's no other word for it, is
Yeah,
there?
a genius and a nice guy, and he puts his money where his mouth is. He backs the arts. He's an incredible human.
And that story about collaboration, so interesting.